Hey guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and welcome to Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam. And turn your sensitivity down. That's probably the first piece of advice I'm going to give you, and I'm not going to make this into a full-blown, yeah, this is my first impressions. I'm not going to make a first impressions video. I don't really enjoy those, particularly to watch. I'm going to squeeze in some of my opinions or thoughts on the game, but I'm also going to make this more so about Khao Sun Temple. I always call it just the temple, because I don't like saying Khao Sun, because I always feel like I'm going to mispronounce it, but I've already nicknamed all of the maps, as a matter of fact. Like Vantage Point, I'll just call it Choke Point Charlie, because that's all that map is, just one gigantic choke point. Well, to begin with, it's a gigantic choke point. And Wesley Snipes, the first one of Vietnam, that's wonderful, isn't it? Now, the first thing that I like to do on the temple here is you pull up to this one spot here, and it's so easy to absolutely just sever the right flank for the enemy, because this piece of cover is directly level to where your rifle is. Like you don't have to always move around to get around the cover. The cover is right where you want it to be, right about your eye level, so you can cut out as much as your body to expose as possible. And as you can see here, it is so effective. And if you sever off the left flank, it gives your teammates such an easier time to get B done. It's fairly effective. And after, I believe I get one more kill here, and then I have a little bit of downtime, so I'm going to go ahead and address this. Just so you guys know, and I don't think many people know this, but the AK-47 is horribly overpowered, and there's not a doubt in my mind about that. And you guys know that I won't call catfish, I won't call something overpowered if it's not overpowered. I have a justification, and anybody who's even played the game, I knew it was overpowered after playing with it for literally like 30 minutes. And then I checked the stats, and that just confirmed my previous notions that the AK-47 was overpowered. There's not a doubt in my mind. And that's mainly because it's got a better damage per second than the M16, it's got a ridiculous reload cancel, and it's head and shoulders better than the M14, and that's basically why. Its damage is a little bit less than the M14, but it's like 2 or 3 points of damage. Like it's so comparable. The damage is practically the same, or it's extremely similar to the M14. Not to mention that it has a much better reload, and it has 10 more rounds in a clip than the M14. And even the reload cancel just makes it head and shoulders above both the M16 and the M14. You can check the stats just to, if you don't believe me or you disagree with me, feel free to tell me why. But if you check the stats, it's fairly conspicuous. Okay, it's not difficult to see. And even using the rifles, I've used all 3 assault rifles for at least an hour each. I know the AK-47 is overpowered. Okay, now with that being said, I definitely like the way that a lot of the guns are balanced with each other. I think that the SMGs are definitely going to play a large role. I definitely think you guys are going to see a lot of PPSH, and definitely these are the 3 rifles that I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a lot of the AK-47, a lot of the PPSH, and a lot of the M60, and those are going to be the more predominant rifles. I could be wrong, but that's my original overview or foresight. And on the temple here, it's always great to flank right for this second set, because if you flank left on this one, you're exposed on the beach, and a lot of that cover is easily destructible, and you can also penetrate a lot of it. So I like to take this right side because you got these big solid rocks, and you've got lots of dark vegetation, and you're also in the shade, and that actually plays a huge role. If you're in the shade on this right side here, it's so much better than taking the beach on the left side, because the left side, you're silhouetted against something extremely light, like the sand, and it's so easy to see you. It's just incredibly easy. And really, just so you guys know, once you actually get this charge set, you're in a tremendous territorial advantage compared to any of the defenders that are coming in, because there are 3 main choke points that can get into this specific area where B is. Obviously, where those 2 guys just got in, I should have finished off my clip of the AK-47 instead of switching to my sidearm, but I still killed him, and we still got the objective destroyed. And like I said, with B, you can only get in 3 ways. You can only jump over that broken piece of the wall, and there's 2 other sets of gates that you can get in. But if you get somebody standing there with a flamethrower, it's not going to be difficult. And The flamethrower is not as good as I thought it was. You have to keep all that flame on somebody for quite a while. and it's not as overpowered as I thought it was going to be, but it's sort of annoying when you're just sitting there burning and you die like 10 seconds later. That can be a little annoying. But overall, I'm glad that it's not tremendous and it's not tremendously overpowered. So, and I always feel like, why would you not use a shotgun? But then the other tactic that I literally think might even work if I use it, it's a little bit goofy, and I know it's going to be unorthodox. I don't think many people have thought of this, but it's almost like smoke. Like, I know when I'm using the flamethrower, I use it like a smoke screen. So first the guy doesn't know where the flame is coming from, and then once I get him with his back turned to me, I just light him up. So sometimes, I mean, that even happens to me. I just get lost in the fire. I mean, there's fire everywhere. I know he's here, but I don't know where the fire is coming from because there's so much of it. So it's almost like smoke in a way, but then again, it is much more difficult to attack because there's less smoke. Or there is no smoke, excuse me. And the one final thing that I do want to address, and I kind of am making this first impressions video, but I don't want to call it that, because I am talking about the temple, right? Okay, so the other thing is that the choppers are also broken. Like, it's not even worth your time to take out an RPG if you're going to go try to shoot a chopper down. It's just asinine. It's like, take out your AK-47, take out your M60, and just light up the helicopter, and it's going to come down anyways with conventional bullets. I mean, why even take out your RPG when, if even half your team is shooting at the helicopter, it'll come down in a matter of seconds, undoubtedly. And the other thing is about the helicopters is that, you know, the rotors and the huge blades on the top of the helicopter, those actually count. Those get you hit markers, and those actually damage the helicopter. So that's definitely got one of the biggest hitboxes that I've ever seen, because if you can get remotely close to the helicopter, you're going to damage it, and it's going to come down so quickly. So I definitely think that the damage done to helicopters should be reduced to at least a quarter or a third of what it is now, because they're just coming down way too fast. They're virtually useless. And okay, beyond that, there are just a few other things, like sometimes the environment doesn't quite work correctly. Like, I'll clearly be shooting a guy who's just sitting in a bush, but then again, the bush is just, it acts like a solid piece of concrete, like I can't shoot through it. Sometimes that, you know, a little bit annoying. But for the most part, these problems are not crippling to the game, and they're just minor improvements that could definitely be made. But overall, I definitely like the maps. And good news for you guys is that all of the maps have only 3 sets of objectives, so that means that it is going to be quite rare for me to even do another one of those chopped up videos. You guys know what I mean, right? Obviously you know what I mean. So you're definitely going to get a lot more, I call it raw or full-fledged content. Like, you're going to see the entire game, because there's only 3 sets of objectives. But that also means I'm not going to be going 52 and 5 very consistently, because you've only got 3 sets instead of 5 sets. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. And one last thing that I do want to ask you guys is for a ratio. Now the ratio is, what ratio would you like of Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam videos to regular or new school videos? You guys know normal Bad Company 2. So if it's like 4-to-1 for every 4 Vietnam videos, like if you one normal video and so forth. And please don't misunderstand me, although I did start out sort of negative, I definitely love the game. I'm going to be playing it for quite a while in the future, and it's kind of Angst. Es gefällt mir sehr gut, just to describe it bluntly to you. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Auf Wiedersehen, bis bald und herzliche Weihnachtsgrüße.